Now these Jews were more noble than those in Thessalonica. They received the word with all eagerness, examining the scriptures daily to see if these things were so. You're watching More Noble with Patty.
Hi, I'm Patty. Welcome to More Noble. Hey, today I want to talk about deception again, but in a little bit of a different way. And I also want to really encourage you all because of what's going on in and around the world, especially in our country, the United States. Now I know I read this to you the other day, but I want to go back to Matthew 24, and I really encourage you to read this on your own time. And I'm just going to go through it really quickly. When Jesus was with his disciples, they said, "Tell us when, what sign will signal your return and the end of the world?" And Jesus told them, "Don't let anyone mislead you. For many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah. They will deceive many. And you'll hear of wars and threats of wars, but don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Nation will go to war against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There'll be famines, earthquakes in many parts of the world. But all this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come." I'm reading out a New Living Translation. I thought it would just be a little bit easier. But this is only the first. And then he talks about his disciples. "Then you'll be arrested, persecuted, and killed." Do you know there's persecution going on? That's not really getting our headlines. In North Africa, Christians even being pulled out of their churches and being beheaded just because they follow Jesus. "You will be hated all over the world because you are my followers. And many will turn away from me," Jesus says, "and betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and will deceive many people. Sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end will be saved." And then it keeps going on, and you're welcome to read the whole thing on your own. But the root of all this is deception. There is deception anywhere. And I know I've talked about the false teachers, but there's also deception everywhere. If you just look at things around you, and some things just don't make sense, but deception is really behind them all. So we have to be on guard, and we have to go to the source. So even if it's a news outlet, don't just believe what they say. Start looking around, do some research. And if you know someone that lives in that state, talk to them about it. Maybe they can see some things that are going on or laws that are being passed, or even go and get news outside of the United States, different news outlets around the world. And again, if you know some people over there that maybe can help verify some of those things, go to the source. The other thing that I wanted to say is us Christians, we can't get caught up in this in a negative way. We need to stand for righteousness, but we also have to remember we're following Jesus, and we cannot lose sight of that. And he's told us to go everywhere in the world and share the gospel message and make disciples. So we have to be doing that. But also, in these times of trouble, how are you acting? How are you reacting? Are you giving into fear? Are you giving into hate? Take a look inside your own heart. These people who are doing protests and stuff, and I understand everybody is upset that that man was murdered by that policeman. But it doesn't give everybody else a right to just do evil. Look inside your own heart. A protest isn't going to make a difference. Yelling and screaming and posting things on Facebook isn't going to make a difference. It all starts with us. Look inside your heart. Only the Lord can change a person's heart. Of course, a person needs to be willing to be obedient to the Lord, which brings me, Jesus said that these were the beginning of the birth pains. So we see these things happening, but it's only just begun. So we have a lot that we need to persevere through. These times are going to test our faith. Are you truly, truly a follower of Jesus Christ? Are you putting your trust in him for your forgiveness of sins, for what he did on the cross, and that he died and rose again? Are you putting your trust in Christ for salvation? Make sure you really, truly know what you believe and why you believe. And then I even encourage you to go back and read Luke 14, 25 to 34. And it talks about counting the cost of being a follower of Jesus, because there is a cost with it. And he even said, the world hated me and they're gonna hate you. That comes along with it, because we're not of this world. We may be in it, but we're not of it. And I also want to bring you to the attention of John 17, where Jesus was praying to the Father before he was going to get crucified and everything. Let me just read to you what he was praying. He says, my prayer is not for the world, but for those who you have given me, because they belong to me. All are mine belong to me, and you have given them to me. So they bring me glory. Now I'm departing from the world. They are staying in the world. But I am coming to you, Holy Father. You have given me, your name. Now protect them by the power of your name, so that they will be united, just as we are one. During my time here, I protected them by the power of the name you gave me. I guarded them so that not one was lost, except for the one headed for destruction, as the scriptures foretold. He's talking about Judas. Now I am coming to you. I told them many things while I was with them in the world, so they would be filled with my joy. I have given them your word, and the world hates me because, and the world hates them because they don't belong to the world, just as I don't belong to the world. Again, this is Jesus praying to the Father. I am not asking you to take them out of the world, but to keep them safe from the evil one. They don't belong to this world any more than I do. Make them holy by your truth. Teach them your word, which is truth. Just as you sent me into the world, I am sending them into the world. And I give myself as a holy sacrifice for them, so they may be holy by your truth. And you can continue going on. But he prayed for us to be protected from the evil one. And go and read in Ephesians 6, about putting on the armor of God. The evil one is going to throw darts at us in every direction. And if it isn't out in our culture, well, then he'll come into our families, he'll come into our churches. Personally, things will happen to you. Yesterday, my son's friend, he actually hit deception head on. He wound up getting involved in somebody scammed him out of some money. And at first we didn't know what was going to happen, but it seemed like they were like, go to this location and draw all this money out. And he did it because he's young and he didn't know. Now he'll know for next time. But it was really scary because we hadn't heard from him. So I was sitting there thinking that, these men could have robbed him, could have taken the car, and he had my son's car too. But the thing is, my son wound up calling the police, and I wound up getting there and talking to the police officers. And there were 3 police officers here in Franklin, Tennessee. There were 2 white and 1 black, and they were all so loving and so kind and so helpful. They located Reagan's friend, my son Reagan's friend, and they were just so kind and loving. And his friend was a bit shaken up, but the police, they just spent so much time, and I was just so thankful for them to be there. And I just think of all people that are trying to get rid of the police, and I'm thinking, well, even me as a woman, if I feel threatened, who am I going to call to help me? Or people that you see a rape going on, for us women, who are we going to call? Who's going to defend us? Or even children. What happens if someone's harming a child, or stealing your car, or breaking into your house and harming your family? Who are you going to call? This is absolute insanity to get rid of police officers. I understand one did do that, and there may be others. But again, it really goes back to us. Do we want to look inside our hearts? We are responsible to change us and our actions. So let it begin with you. I'll see you next time. Thank you.